Borders are closing, tensions are rising, and for some Americans, entire countries are now off limits. But why? Is it politics, security threats, or something even more alarming? You might be surprised to learn that some of these places once welcomed U.S. travelers with open arms. But now, if you try to enter, you could be detained, turned away, or worse. From nations caught in conflict to governments that simply don't want Americans visiting anymore, this list will shock you. So before you book that dream vacation, you need to know. Are you banned? Let's break down the 10 countries Americans can't visit in 2025. Number 10, Afghanistan. A place once filled with breathtaking mountains and rich history is now a no-go zone for Americans. Afghanistan has become one of the most dangerous destinations on the planet, and if you think you can just waltz in for an adventure, think again. The U.S. government has issued a Level 4 Do Not Travel Advisory, and for good reason. Kidnappings, bombings, and attacks on foreigners have skyrocketed. But guess what? It's not just random violence. Americans are specifically targeted. The Taliban, now in full control, sees U.S. visitors as bargaining chips for political leverage. If you get detained, don't expect an easy way out. And let's not forget the deadly landmines still scattered across the country, some dating back decades. One wrong step, and it's over. Think you're safe if you're just passing through? Even humanitarian workers and journalists are disappearing. With no U.S. embassy left to assist, entering Afghanistan in 2025 is as risky as it gets. Number 9. Belarus. This might shock you, but a European country, one that borders major travel destinations, has completely shut its doors to Americans. Belarus, once a place you could visit with ease, is now a forbidden zone for U.S. travelers. Why? Well, let's just say political tensions have reached a boiling point. The Belarusian government is one of Russia's closest allies, and as relations between the U.S. and Russia have soured, Americans are no longer welcome. But that's not all. The country has been cracking down on foreign visitors, detaining those it deems suspicious, and even forcing confessions on trumped-up charges. If you think you're safe as a tourist, think again. Several Westerners have been arrested under mysterious circumstances. And guess what? If you get in trouble here, there's no U.S. embassy to help you. You'd be completely on your own. So before we move forward, hit that subscribe button so we can keep bringing you eye-opening content like this. If you think danger only exists in war zones, you're about to be shocked. There's a country in West Africa where entire regions are now lawless, ruled by ruthless militias. Americans who step foot here are prime targets for kidnappings, and the U.S. government has officially told citizens, do not travel. But why is this happening? What changed? Stay tuned because this country's decline is unlike anything you'd expect. Number 8. Burkina Faso. There's a place where entire villages vanish overnight, where armed groups control more land than the government, and where stepping outside as an American could be the last mistake you ever make. That place is Burkina Faso. You'd be shocked to learn that just a decade ago, this West African country was a rising travel hotspot, known for its vibrant culture and stunning landscapes. But now, it's one of the deadliest places on Earth. Terrorist groups, including ISIS affiliates and Al-Qaeda, have turned the country into a battlefield. Highways, ambush zones, hotels, targeted in deadly attacks. Even schools and hospitals aren't safe. But guess what? It gets worse. The U.S. government has issued a strict Level 4, Do Not Travel Advisory, warning that if you're kidnapped, there's no way out. And kidnapping isn't just a possibility, it's a booming business. Armed militants actively hunt down Westerners, knowing that ransom money funds their operations. Some hostages have been held for years, while others, well, let's just say they don't make it back at all. And if you think sticking to the capital, Ouagadougou, will keep you safe, think again. Suicide bombings, mass shootings, and carjackings happen even in broad daylight. The government is barely holding on, and with more than 2 million people displaced, the country is on the verge of collapse. Oh, and don't even dream of calling for help. The U.S. closed its embassy in 2023 due to rising threats. If you get into trouble, you're completely on your own. The only advice? Don't go. Number 7. Iran. A country rich in history, breathtaking architecture, and some of the best cuisine in the world. Sounds like a dream travel destination, right? Well, not for Americans. Iran isn't just unwelcoming, it's a legal trap waiting to spring on US citizens. You'd be shocked at how quickly an innocent visit can turn into a nightmare. Iran has a long history of arresting Americans on false charges, accusing them of being spies. And here's the scary part. Once you're in their system, you're not getting out anytime soon. There are Americans who have been stuck in Iranian prisons for years, some held without trial, some sentenced in secret courts. The US has little to no power to negotiate their release. But guess what? Even dual citizens aren't safe. If you were born in the US but have Iranian heritage, you could be arrested the moment you land. Iranian authorities don't recognize dual nationality, meaning they treat you as one of their own, except with a target on your back. And it's not just the government that's a problem. The entire country is under heavy sanctions, meaning US bank cards don't work, major airlines have stopped flying in, and even basic medical aid is limited. If something happens to you, good luck getting out. Oh, and if you think, I'll just be careful, consider this. Iran has been actively seizing foreign ships, blocking communication, and escalating tensions in the Middle East. If a political conflict breaks out while you're there, you will be stuck. No flights, no embassies, no escape. Before we move forward, make sure to hit that subscribe button so we can keep bringing you the latest, most eye-opening content. You don't want to miss what's coming next. If you think strict laws in other countries are bad, wait until you hear about this place. This is a country where one wrong move, literally just leaving a newspaper unfolded the wrong way, could get you sentenced to hard labor for life. And if you're an American, you're already considered the enemy. You won't believe what happens to foreigners who break even the smallest rules. Stay tuned, because this next country isn't just dangerous, it's a complete prison state. Number 6. North Korea. A place where every step you take is monitored, every word you speak is recorded, and one wrong move could mean a lifetime in a prison camp. North Korea is the place we talk about. You'd be shocked at how little it takes to end up in serious trouble here. In 2016, an American tourist was arrested for simply taking down a propaganda poster. His punishment? 15 years of hard labor. And guess what? He didn't make it out alive. The truth is, North Korea doesn't just punish foreigners, it uses them as political pawns. And if you think you can just be careful, think again. Every tourist is assigned government minders who follow their every move. Want to explore on your own? Illegal? Want to take pictures? Only the ones they approve. Say the wrong thing? You could be accused of spying. But it gets worse. The US has completely banned travel to North Korea for its citizens since 2017. If you somehow make it in through China, you'll have no embassy, no legal protection, and no way out if things go south. The North Korean government views Americans as enemies, and if tensions with the US rise, you could become a bargaining chip in a diplomatic crisis. Oh, and don't even think about using the internet or calling home. Foreigners are completely cut off from the outside world. If something happens to you, nobody will know. Nobody will help. Bottom line, North Korea isn't just dangerous, it's a trap. Once you're in, leaving is not guaranteed. Number 5. Russia. A country once open to millions of tourists is now a place where Americans are being detained, interrogated, and even sentenced to decades in prison. That country is Russia. You'd be shocked at how quickly things have changed. Since the start of the Ukraine war, Russia has cracked down on Westerners, especially Americans. The Russian government now considers the US an unfriendly nation, and guess what? That means if you visit, you're at risk of being labeled a spy. And it's already happening. Multiple US citizens have been arrested on bogus charges, some accused of espionage, others simply detained for having dual citizenship. Once you're in a Russian prison, there's no easy way out. The Russian legal system is notorious for harsh sentences, forced confessions, and show trials. But that's not all. The US State Department has issued a Level 4 do not travel warning, stating that Americans could be forced into military service, taken hostage, or used for political leverage. If tensions between the US and Russia escalate, you could suddenly find yourself stuck in a country that no longer lets Americans leave. And guess what? Flights are disappearing. Most Western airlines have already cut ties with Russia, and with growing sanctions, getting out could become impossible overnight. Before we move forward, make sure to hit that subscribe button so we can keep bringing you the latest, most eye-opening content. You don't want to miss what's coming next. You might think war zones are easy to avoid. Just don't go where the fighting is, right? But what if a country is so unstable that even stepping inside puts you on a terrorist watch list? There's one place where kidnappings, airstrikes, and chemical attacks are still happening today. And if you think a US passport will keep you safe, you're dead wrong. Stay tuned, because this next country is one of the most dangerous in the world. Number 4, Syria. A country where cities have turned to rubble, where bombings happen without warning, and where being an American makes you a target the moment you step foot inside. That country? Syria. You'd be shocked at how dangerous this place still is. The civil war has been raging for over a decade, and guess what? It's nowhere near over. The US government has completely banned travel to Syria, warning that Americans who go there could be kidnapped, tortured, or even executed by terrorist groups. Think you can just stick to safe zones? There are none. Airstrikes, roadside bombs, and sudden clashes between armed groups happen all the time. And if you get caught in the middle, don't expect a quick rescue. There's no US embassy, no consular services, and no help if you're in trouble. But here's the real nightmare. ISIS is still active. American tourists aren't just at risk, they're prime targets. In the past, US citizens captured by ISIS have been paraded on camera, forced to deliver propaganda, and then brutally executed. It's not just a possibility, it has already happened. And it's not just terrorist groups you have to worry about. The Syrian government itself is hostile toward Americans. If you enter illegally, you could be accused of being a spy and thrown into one of Syria's notorious prisons, where people have been tortured, starved, and never seen again. Bottom line, going to Syria is like stepping into a war zone where every road, every building, and every person could be a deadly trap. No tourist experience is worth that risk. Number 3, Venezuela. A country where people wait hours in line just to buy bread, where kidnappings happen in broad daylight, and where hyperinflation has made money almost worthless. That country? Venezuela. You'd be shocked at how fast things have collapsed here. Once one of the wealthiest nations in Latin America, Venezuela is now drowning in crime, corruption, and extreme poverty. The government is cracking down on dissent, and guess what? Americans are not welcome. In recent years, US citizens have been detained on false charges, forced to confess to crimes they didn't commit, and used as political pawns. And if you think the US government can help you, think again. The US has severed diplomatic relations with Venezuela, meaning there's no embassy, no legal protection, and no way to get out if something happens. But here's what's even scarier. The crime rate is one of the highest in the world. Armed gangs control entire neighborhoods, kidnappings for ransom are common, and the police? They're often part of the problem. Even walking down the street in broad daylight could put you at risk of being robbed, assaulted, or worse. Before we move forward, make sure to hit that subscribe button so we can keep bringing you the latest, most eye-opening content. You don't want to miss what's coming next. Most people think of war zones as distant, far-off places that barely affect them. But what if I told you there's a country where Americans aren't just at risk, they're actively hunted? This next place is one of the deadliest countries in the world, where famine, bombings, and kidnappings are everyday realities. And if you step inside, getting out alive isn't guaranteed. Stay tuned. Number 2, Yemen. A place where airstrikes can flatten entire neighborhoods in seconds, where famine is so severe that children are starving to death, and where stepping outside as an American could mean you never come back. You'd be shocked at how dangerous this place has become. For nearly a decade, Yemen has been locked in a brutal civil war, and guess what? It's still getting worse. The US government has completely banned travel to Yemen, warning that Americans who enter might not make it out alive. But here's the real nightmare. Terrorist groups like Al-Qaeda and ISIS are thriving here. And for them, Americans are the ultimate prize. Foreigners, especially U.S. citizens, are often kidnapped for ransom, used as hostages, or executed in horrifying propaganda videos. The risk isn't just high, it's almost guaranteed. And if you think you can just avoid the danger zones, think again. There are no safe places in Yemen. Even the capital, Sana'a, is under constant bombardment. Missiles, drones, and airstrikes can hit at any time. You could be sitting in a cafe one moment and buried under rubble the next. What makes it even worse? There's no U.S. embassy, no consular protection, and no one coming to save you if things go wrong. If you get caught up in the chaos, you're completely on your own. But guess what? It's not just war and terrorism that make Yemen unlivable, it's also a humanitarian catastrophe. The country is on the verge of total collapse, with over 80% of the population needing humanitarian aid. There's little food, barely any clean water, and hospitals are overwhelmed. Even basic medical care is almost impossible to find. So if you think about going to Yemen, just know this: you'd be stepping into one of the most dangerous places on earth, and chances are you wouldn't make it back. Number 1. Libya. A country where armed militias run the streets, where kidnappings are a daily threat, and where being an American could turn you into a high-value target overnight. You'd be shocked at how quickly this place spiraled out of control. After the fall of its dictator in 2011, Libya became a battlefield for warring militias, terrorist groups, and human traffickers. The U.S. government has banned all travel here, warning that foreigners, especially Americans, are not safe. And guess what? There's no functioning government to protect you. Libya is divided between rival factions, and many areas are controlled by extremist groups, including ISIS. If you're captured, you won't just be robbed or beaten. You could be sold to a terrorist group or used as a bargaining chip. Even if you somehow avoid militias and terrorists, you're still in danger. The crime rate is sky high. Armed robberies, carjackings, and assassinations are common, and even locals don't feel safe walking outside. Imagine living in a place where life is worth less than a bag of rice. And here's something even scarier. The U.S. Embassy in Libya was evacuated years ago. That means if you get into trouble, there's no one to call, no one to help, and no way out. But the real shocker? Libya has become a hub for human trafficking. Thousands of people are being sold into slavery, and if you get caught in the wrong place at the wrong time, you could end up in one of these camps, never to be seen again. So if you're thinking about visiting Libya, just know this: you're walking straight into chaos, and there's no way out. So there you have it, 10 countries where Americans simply can't go anymore. Some have collapsed under war and terrorism, others have governments that openly target U.S. citizens, and a few are so lawless that stepping foot there is basically a death sentence. What do you think? Did any of these surprise you? Have you ever considered visiting one of these places? Let us know in the comments. And before you go, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss our deep dives into the world's most shocking realities. Share this video with your friends. It might just save someone's life. See you in the next one.